Hi, I'd like to do an unoxidized mesh wick building tutorial for you today. I'm going to start with a 200 superfine. I've got the port pre-built here with a 0.3 millimeter canthal, 2.5 millimeter 2.5 millimeter inner diameter coil. I've made sure the coil is centered in the wick hole, above the wick hole, and is vertical. These are two very important things, and of course the coil is nice and even. So I'm going to start off by creating a tube-like structure from the 200 superfine, and I'm going to roll it between my hands to create a hollow tube or straw, and then I'll take one end and I'll create a sort of V-shaped wedge from the mesh, and that'll help me push it into the coil without disturbing the oxide layer, which we're going to create on it later. That's the key. You need to be soft and gentle throughout the whole process, and then you should have very little or no hot spots. So you can see it as I'm pushing the mesh. When I feel resistance, I just remove it and I roll it a little bit tighter until it goes in very smoothly and without much resistance at all. Right, and now for the actual oxidization. No need for a blowtorch or lighter or whatever. I've got the port set to 14 watts, and I'm going to do 5 short pulses. These numbers are not set in stone, but roughly let it go and let it cool down again about 5 times. I've lost count, but it doesn't really matter. Once that's done, I've got the actual oxide layer around the coil and not on the mesh, and the advantage of that is that you're not clogging up the pores of the mesh. You're not going to get so much residue, bad taste to flush out of the atomizer before you vape. Oh, that's a little bit, that's just a tad bit too far down. I like to have it a little bit above the top coil. Alright, and now moving on to the 500 mesh, I'm going to roll that into a very tight plug or rod, which, if the build was done correctly, in the end should just slide right down into the 200 mesh, and that'll let you error check the build. Since the wicking capabilities actually arise from this structure, that there is actually a hollow with a rod inside. Yeah, that's the build done. You can now check for hot spots or adjust if necessary with a pin. That's what I use, just if there's any hot spots, which there aren't now, or if you want to lay out your coil a little bit more evenly. Yeah, all that's left to do is prime the coil. And you're ready to vape. Thank you very much. Bye bye.